Hi everyone, welcome to the Nico Flo Show. Today we are interviewing Kate Doyle. She is 17. She plays guitar, piano, drums, can sing, dance. She's the head of several clubs at our high school, such as the Christian Discipleship Club, Praise and Worship Club, Philosophy Club, Retreat Team Leader. Basically does it all. Kate, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great. I'm doing good.
Okay, sounds good. Okay, my first question, because you play so many instruments, if you had to pick one instrument to be able to play, what would it be? And then follow-up question, if you could teach everyone in the world one instrument, what would it be?
I feel like those are kind of the same answer. I think it would be, I think it'd be guitar.
Mm.
I think guitar is kind of the most versatile one.
Versatile?
Versatile.
Versatile.
No, you can say either way.
Mm-mm.
No, I think you're wrong.
Whatever,
The
that's
most
fine.
versatile instrument. I think it's also like the most used in like public situations. Like if I'm out around a campfire with my friends, I can't bring out my whole piano, or like
Sure.
I can't necessarily like just drum. Like, well, one, I can't bring those out, but I also can't like just drum and everybody sing along. You know what I mean? I think guitar is like the most versatile, and and it's also like the most used around people and easy to like travel
I'd
with.
agree with that. I'd
Mhm.
agree with that. But would you, because I've heard many people say that if they could, the first instrument that you should try to learn is piano.
Mhm.
Do you agree with that?
100%. Um, Piano's definitely the easiest one to start with because it's the most like visual one. That was my first instrument, and like I can attest that it made learning every other instrument like 10 times easier
Mm.
because I learned like my foundations of music on the piano in like a way that was so like easy for me to see certain things in my head. And then I transferred over to guitar where it's a little bit less visual. Um, so having the piano background definitely helps.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Okay, next question. If you could be any fictional character, swap lives with them, what would it be? Cartoon or like rom-com, whatever you want to do. Like,
Oh, hmm. Yeah, eat your thing because I don't know what I'm gonna say. What?
P.S. As she's thinking, whoever got me this Twix last night at the Friday night show, thank you so much. This is my breakfast. Continue.
um, Probably the rat from Ratatouille, because because he gets to go on so many adventures, and like he was able to break out of like the traditional rat life, and like he had accomplished his dream that was like so unattainable, of like being a pro chef and working like in the kitchen and everything, and I really admire his work.
Guess, bro. What an answer. That's quite an answer. I don't think anyone would ever expect to swap lives with a rat.
Thank you. I really tried to make it original.
Yeah. I was going to say SpongeBob,
Why?
because he's funny.
That's
He's got a calm life.
true.
It's actually not that calm at all,
It's
but
pretty chaotic.
yeah. And that's fun. I love it.
That's a good answer though.
And he doesn't die. Does he?
No, I don't think so.
Like, I don't. Yeah, he just gets to keep living and being happy and
Yeah,
good times.
that's true. If we were SpongeBob and Patrick, which one would you be?
I think I'd be SpongeBob.
I think so too, but I don't know if I want to be the Patrick. It's fine.
No?
It's whatever.
Okay. Oh, okay. Okay. If you could pick one time period, one era, one or a decade, I guess you could say, of the past or present, what would it be? To live in for the decade. Like you got to live there for like 10 years.
I have thought about this a lot actually, and I think it would definitely be the 80s. I love like the culture of the 1980s. Like, all of the movies and everything were so good. And I feel like it was a perfect balance of like where technology was. I feel like because like they had like telephones, not cell phones. They had like phones, like you could call your friends, like all this stuff. They had computers to a certain extent, but at least from what I know, it didn't like impede on their lives at all, or like it didn't take away from like their like social lives or anything like that, and like it wasn't as big of an addiction as it is now. So I think it's a really good balance there, and it's just like hearing stories from my parents from the 80s just sounds like so fun. Like everybody kind of just did whatever. Like my parents were like, yeah, we would just like go out all day, and my parents wouldn't even know where we were, and then we'd come home for dinner, and like that just sounds like so much fun. It's definitely the 80s.
Okay. Now, this is going to lead into two questions, but the first one is, what do you think was your favorite, or the most, yeah, we'll say, what do you think it was your favorite year of your life?
I would probably say I was talking to people about this yesterday actually. Probably last year, my junior year. I think that was the best year of my life so far. I'm hoping that this year replaces it, but as of right now, it was last year.
Okay. Now, this is the follow-up question on that. Go back to age 7. Go back to age 11 and age 15. So 4-year gaps between each. Start with age 7, and if you could give a piece of advice to your 7-year-old self, 11-year-old, and 15-year-old.
I think to my 7-year-old self, I would just tell her to like continue to like soak up everything. You're so annoying.
What about this is... I don't think this is...
Oh. I put mascara on today too, bro.
Do you want a napkin?
That's fine. Anyways, with this year being senior year, I've just been thinking a lot about like the past 4 years and how I like didn't necessarily know or like recognize like just how good everything has been, like until I'm like seeing like the finish line. You know what I mean? So I would just say, but I feel like if I told this to my 7-year-old self, she'd be like, "No, you're crazy." But just to like kind of take a step back a lot of the times, because growing up I would see kind of like small problems as like a lot bigger than they were when like, especially in high school, I guess I mean, when it's like if I take a step back, like it really wasn't that big, and just like not let those things like deter me, I guess. Does that make sense? And to like don't let certain problems like I might be going through like take away from enjoying where I'm at.
Yeah. I think that's really powerful, because like something that has been on my heart a lot recently, that you know this, but is like we all think that what's going on this year, this moment, this week is like the most important thing in the world, and the things that are coming up, like what happens the rest of this year, what grade we get in statistics, like that is the most important thing in the world. But after you get through it, after you age up, after a year goes by, like I couldn't care less what I got in geometry, like, and it goes for basically everything, I'd say. You're gonna end up on the path that you're supposed to end up on, and a lot of the times you need to just like step back and realize like this isn't gonna throw off my life. This isn't gonna, in 10 years time, I'm not gonna care. And if I do care, I'm gonna look back on it with joy, hopefully. So yeah. Do you think you'd have a different answer for 11 and 15?
I think it would be the same answer, but I would like obviously, I think that answer applies to all of the ages, but I think my answer as an 11-year-old would be that, probably that there's strength in vulnerability. Because when I was 11, I feel like I was going through a lot, and I didn't talk about it at all, really, because I thought it was, like, embarrassing or weak. But from what I've learned with being vulnerable is, like, you have to have strength to do that. And it also, like, it strengthens your relationships with people so much, like, being able to share that vulnerability.
That's also really powerful with men, because like it's obviously powerful with women, but I think men go through like a very interesting path where we like start off as boys and as kids, as babies who like just complain all the time, and just like a toddler boy will always be complaining. But then he gets to this middle ground in like his teenage years usually, where you just feel like middle school, teenage years, most guys or boys, I want to say, can't be vulnerable. And then it takes that next level of like becoming an actual man to be able to be vulnerable. So you kind of go vulnerable. I don't know what the in between word is, but or like you go from being vulnerable to being closed off to being vulnerable. Hopefully, some men stay in one their whole life, but yeah, that's good, especially as teenagers too.
Yeah, thank you.
15. 15 what? 15 we were freshmen in high school?
I think I was a sophomore. So you were a sophomore. Because I was...
Oh, yeah,
I was
yeah.
16 last year. Yeah.
Yeah.
I would say... continue to go where I see Christ. And to continue to pursue Christ. Because sophomore year... I grew up religious. My family was religious. I went to church every Sunday. I have a great family. All of that. But it was kind of my sophomore year when I actually started to like take my faith into my own hands a little bit. And like I started doing more like spiritual based activities because it was like something that I wanted to do. I was introduced to certain like youth groups that really helped me. And sometimes I had to sacrifice something else that I wanted to do in order to do something like spiritually based. But like the continued pursuance, the continual pursuing of that and of Christ has like been such a huge part, or become such a huge part of like who I am today. And it's made me such a more joyful person, because I was not the most truly joyful person like freshman year, start of sophomore year. So I would just tell myself to keep it up, because it's really good.
This is an interesting question, because I think you can go many ways. But do you wish that you had started participating in the clubs that you do now, or the youth groups, or the religious stuff? Do you wish you had done that earlier?
I think it would have been good for me to do it earlier, but I don't think it was what was intended for me.
Yeah.
So I guess my answer is no, because I think some of the things that I felt before really pursuing Christ from my own desires, I needed to know that and experience that to see how good Christ was after pursuing that. And some of the things that I went through before pursuing Christ more, I think I needed to go through that, not only to be able to advise future people that I might meet who have gone through similar things that I did, but also just to know this is how I felt without fully putting Christ at the center of my life, and then see where I am now, trying to doing my best to put him at the center.
Yeah, and I think a part of what you just said is one of the main reasons that I would say that is why I can put my faith in Jesus, because it was a part of what you said. What you said was you had that time before where you knew where you didn't fully put him at the center. And you know what it felt like to be that way, or to not truly put him at the center. And then now you know what it feels like to put him at the center. You still go through not the same adversities, but you still go through just as many challenges. But you can handle them differently. You can, whatever it might be. I think life is just better. And I think that's reason enough. If you have proof of concept, I guess that's reason enough to believe. Obviously, there's so much more that just builds on top of that. But if you have that foundation, I feel that's kind of all you need. Yeah. Okay. We'll lighten up just a little bit more, but actually not really. Finish the sentence. I, Kate Doyle, am curious about blank.
My future.
Expand.
I think with applying to colleges and everything, there's a lot of uncertainties, and I don't do very well with uncertainties. I'm trying to do better, but I am I think about my future a lot, where am I going to be in 5 years, 10 years, whatever it may be. So I'm just very curious about where I'll end up, and I trust that I have a trust that I'll end up where I'm supposed to be, but at the same time that doesn't necessarily always relieve anxieties. But I think about it all the time, and I'm very curious about it, because I know that what I might have planned for my life right now, my future really probably is not at all like that. And it's probably even better. So I'm very curious and very excited about that as well.
Yeah. Going off of that. Good thing, though, for you is that you are in college.
What?
You got accepted into college.
Oh. Yes.
So you don't have to have that fear in the back of your mind that you're not going to college. Where'd you get into?
I got into High Point University and West Virginia University so far.
Very exciting.
Thank you.
Prayers, please. I'm yet to get into college.
Okay, he's gonna get into a college. You just didn't do any rolling admissions or on-site admission day.
Yeah.
That's the only reason.
I actually did do, I don't remember who. I think I did DePaul. I think Pace might be rolling. I did do some rolling. I just did them a week or two ago, so they're not here yet. But yeah, prayers please, because I do actually want to go to college, and I would be a little sad if I didn't. But
God's plan.
God's plan. What was it? Oh yes, you can answer this in any way you want to. It's pretty open, so answer it how you like. I, Kate Doyle, want to be.
More peaceful. I think sometimes I can be very go go go.
Go Go Joe.
Go
Go Joe. What am I
Go
saying?
Joe. If you know, you know. I can be very like never stopping. And sometimes that can leave me with like a ongoing sense of like unfulfilled or like or just like anxious and like my mind is always racing. I'm always thinking about like what I have to do next, and I think that's part of the reason why I am trying so hard to put Christ at the center of my life, because the people that I know who have like achieved that, I feel like they live with this like sense of joy and just like this peace. Like they're happy, but they're also peaceful, because like they're so trusting that things are gonna work out. And I feel like I want that so bad.
Yeah. I think something on that peace note is like that I don't think we've done much of recently is like slowing down. Because I think really after our first GS retreat, GS is like a youth group sort of thing in a way, but we go on retreats, and after our first one in sophomore year, I think that was probably the first time, at least in my life, that I realized like life is good always, but there's something different, there's something peaceful about when you slow down, when you get rid of distractions, whatever it might be. And I think with it being senior year especially, like we've kind of forgotten that. I've kind of forgotten it. It's not to say that I will do less. It's just that I need to make time for doing less.
Yeah.
Like I'm not going to stop doing the things that I'm doing, but I need to find like that in between time, or that after like 6 a.m. to 6:30 time, or that, 9:30 to 10 time, leaving time for nothing, like to just not do anything, just to be in silence, just to calm your mind, is really important. And I think that's also like kind of on the high school stuff, or the teenage stuff, is like that's something that teenagers, like today, especially in our culture that we have, like that's not a thing. Like you don't slow down. You don't. It's just always distraction. It's like dangerous. It's like foreign, I'd say. It's foreign to slow down.
I think it's also foreign because I feel like the culture that we're growing up in right now, at least in high school, is it's very competitive. Like, oh, all of my friends are doing so much, so I can't just go home after school. Like, I'm lazy.
Do you think that's wrong?
Yeah, yes. I can see, I think your friends are supposed to push you, yes, and make you a better person, yes. That being said, everybody has a different path and everybody has a different thing that they need to be doing right now. And if Sally needs to just, if she's in a time of her life where she just needs to go to school and then go home and be with her family, then that's what she needs. But if Joseph is in a time of his life where he, after school, he's called somewhere, like he's needed somewhere else, then that's like what he needs. But Sally shouldn't feel like she needs to pick up a dozen hobbies in order to keep up with Joseph.
True. I guess where I'm coming from is just that I do think that there are some that kind of coast. They kind of just like school, homework, gaming, repeat. And there's definitely truth to what you just said. But I think there's also truth in saying, like, you need to put yourself out there in a way. You need to try things. I think back to, like the beginning of my junior year, or I guess the summer of my junior year, going into junior year. I was presented with this opportunity to, audition for a freaking school play, and, like, the only reason I had to do it was that my friends were doing it, and, like, why not? It'd be kind of fun to be on stage. And I guess I did have, like, the previous year in choir, we did, remember, I'm Just Ken, and I did that, and I kind of, like, that was a performance, even though I was flat the whole time. That was a performance, and so, yeah, I had, like, a little bit of that itch, right? Like, I wanted to perform, but really I was just, like, presented with this opportunity in my junior year, and I took it, and because I took it, it's, like, changed my life. Well, no, it has changed my life, like, it's no offense or buts. And I think it's dangerous. It's just as dangerous as it is for people to compare and to do things just because they feel like they need to do things. It's just as dangerous in our culture to not take opportunities and just keep just doing things strictly for pleasure or for because it's easy. I think if there's nothing you're being called to, like, to do more of, if there's nothing you're being called to, that might be fine. But I think it can also, at many times, be a situation of, like, you're not being attentive. Maybe. It might be you're not being attentive, or you're not, like, letting yourself do things in a way, because you're like, if someone is spending so much time just playing video games and just, like, doing nothing, you might not be being attentive enough to see the opportunities that you're being called to. Yeah.
I agree. I think it's, like, I agree with that. I think it's, like, how you live it. 'Cause, like, if, back to my example with Sally, if Sally obviously is going home and she's doom scrolling, I don't think that's right.
Sure.
If she were to be presented an opportunity that maybe even was a little bit risky, or out of her comfort zone, I think she should take that risk. But I do also think, like, you can be called to just rest, and, like, if you're living that rest meaningfully, I think that's good. But I agree. It's like a lot of people coast, and I don't think that's right. But there's a fine line.
Yeah, and I find it very interesting. I'll say it because, whatever. I find it very interesting when people. It's, like, very common as a teenager, I feel. When you're doing a lot. When you're doing a lot of things. And there are other people who aren't. They tend to think that they are doing a lot. Like, I don't know. But I think that the problem isn't, like, they're not doing enough activities. It's just that they attribute certain things to just being, like, everything. Like, a lot of people will say, I go to school, I get all my homework done, and I play video games or whatever, and that's a ton because my homework is so overwhelming. And then they look at someone like me who, like, I do homework, like, 3 days a week. maybe. But the rest of my days are spent like until 9:30 every day, almost every day. Just like I'm always doing something. And I think it's easy as a teenager to, from either side, honestly, to look at the other side and think like, oh, like you're not really doing anything. Like you have no homework. Like you're so lucky. You literally do nothing.
Mm-hmm.
You have no homework. Well, dude, I'm out until 9:30, like busting my butt every day. And it's easy for me to look at them and be like, you're like you get to go home at 4 o'clock every day. Like that's I can't imagine being at 4 o'clock every day. So it's easy for me to look at them and be like, if I was in your shoes, it'd be so easy. Which is definitely flawed from both sides.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that was a good conversation. Right now, Kate and I are a part of our school's production of Radium Girls, performing tonight at 7, tomorrow at 1, because today's Saturday. We've had 2 shows so far. Give me 5 words. How do you feel like the shows have gone so far? For you personally, for the actors, whatever it might be. I don't care.
I think I would say accomplishing. Successful. I think for the most part successful. Tiring. Everybody's very tired. Me included. I'll just say closeness and expand that. I mean, friendships are closer. I guess I'll say joyful.
Joyful. Good answer. Last thing. What's one virtue that you would like other people to pray that you attain more of?
I think peace. Still. I've been praying on that virtue a lot recently. I need some help.
Okay. Sounds good. I think I will say fortitude. Strength. Yeah, fortitude, strength. So yeah, that's the episode. Pray for peace. Pray for fortitude. Hope you guys enjoyed this episode. This was the Nico Flo Show. Hope y'all have a great day. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.